Hi, anyone and everyone. This is Kim, the Humble Hermit from Come As You Are Oracle. I am going to do the collective for today. Today is Saturday. It is April 25th, 2026. You may follow me on the Talk the Tube, my blog, or not. Totally up to you. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. If it doesn't fit, don't make it fit. Some of it fits. Fabulous. We love that for you. Whatever doesn't, leave it on the table for someone else. You don't need to take on energy that wasn't meant for you. We're going to use Erica's Lenormand of Hope by Erica Robinson, illustrated by Erica Pebis. And I got this from Le Penetaire. I should put their link on my link tree. Don't you like how I want to advertise for everybody in the world but for myself? Like, I don't care. I don't care about me, but I want to advertise for everybody else. I just love Le Penetaire, and I think it's a nice little business, you know? And they have awesome decks there too. They do like out of the way, sometimes they're expensive, sometimes they're cheaper, but they do like out of the way decks, and I like that. Just to let you guys know, I did put in my link tree the link for Crystal Banner, collidedope.com. If you're interested, I put that in there. And it is more towards the end. It's after all my social media, but before like my Venmo, PayPal, all that stuff. Because supporting a friend is more important than money. I mean, they're not my friends, but still. Let's see what comes out of these cards, man. For some reason, I feel like I'm shuffling too fast. But then I said to myself, no, you're fine. You're fine. It's fine. Is it, though? And this deck might seem small, but this is the larger version. They actually have a smaller version. We got one on the table. I think that's a little too obvious. 3 on the table. Don't you guys love my facial expressions? I don't know if someone is whipping them into shape or they're whipping themselves into shape. But the second thing I heard was getting their shit together. So somebody is getting their shit together, apparently. And it might be kind of a rough ride for them. Like if this is someone healing or working on themselves with the whip and the clouds, and I'm telling you what the cards are. Like it might be kicking their ass. Is that it? Is that all? Is that the message? Because I gave that away in 3 minutes. We're going to do 2 more shuffles after this. 2 more shuffles. All right. I'm trying to slow it down, but for some reason I feel like I'm going fast and I feel like I'm supposed to shuffle fast. I don't know. Because I feel like I usually don't shuffle that fast, but what do I know? Oh. Got 4 on the table, last shuffle. I'll tell you in a minute. It's making me cry right now. I'm not lying. Yeah, I know this is the bottom of the deck. Like it literally jumped into my hand, but I know it's the bottom of the deck. Oh, that's so weird. I'm planning on going to the bookstore before I meet my dad and brother for dinner. Yeah, I'm gonna go. I was gonna go this morning. Um, just to remind, I talked about it this morning. I think on one of the affirmations, or maybe one of the other readings. Today is Independent Booksellers Day. Some places are doing it tomorrow as well, since it's the weekend. Go out and support your independent booksellers. Go out and buy a book from somebody, any anybody. I'm gonna go to Little Bean Books in Antioch and support them. I love them. I think they're really great. If you're in my area, which is the northern Illinois, southern Wisconsin, Blue Books in Kenosha, Wisconsin is really great as well. And they just expanded their shop. Um, there's Moonfall Studios. They do like more like murder mystery stuff like that, comic book type stuff. Um, Donovan, I can't remember his last name. He owns the shop. That is also in downtown Kenosha, across, kind of across, but back from Anna on the Lake. If you're familiar with the area, some great bookstores, some great people to get to know, um, and just some really great vibes in all those shops. Like I love those shops. Again, Northern Illinois, Southern Wisconsin. Today's Independent Booksellers Day. Go out and buy a book from someone other than Amazon or Target. Okay. Okay. I'm going to tell you why I cried in a minute. We got Ryder. We got Whip. I'm probably going to cry again. I'm not going to lie. I'm probably going to cry as I try and explain it. We got Clouds. We got Snake. And bottom of the deck, we got Book. Feminine, masculine, take how it resonates. I'm picking up more masculine energy just because when this came out, for obvious reasons, I got movement. For other obvious reasons, I got knight in shining armor. And I'm just picking up on masculine energy, but that does not mean it couldn't be a feminine. So here we go. Feminine, masculine, take how it resonates. It doesn't matter. I'm going to refer to them as a masculine. Here's the deal. Whoever this is, with the whip and the clouds and the snake, and I told you guys, like I heard whipping them into shape, like they're trying to whip themselves into shape. They're trying to get their shit together. This is a masculine that's trying to heal. They're trying to get their life together. You know, it doesn't mean like, it doesn't necessarily mean they're coming away from addictions or anything like that. It could be, somebody deciding to go back to school, somebody deciding to move out of their parents' basement, somebody, starting to make better decisions for themselves. Let's just say it like that. The thing is, and this is what made me cry, with the clouds and the snake, like they are surrounded by people that are literally determined not to help them, that are literally determined to make them continue to live. And I just like, I get the dark, like and don't get me wrong, this is an adult, right? This is giving masculine energy, like an adult. But I'm picturing like when you, and this is, I'm not going to get into detail, but if you're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, even on Facebook, you see the stories now. They will put stories on there of like children being abused and like their backstories and stuff like that. And you hear these stories about like these little kids, like these little babies that are defenseless, and from like the moment they're born, like they don't have a chance. Like they get abused, neglected, they're left to starve in like a playpen. I mean, you hear horrible stories like that all the time now, like all the time. Like people do not know how to take care of children, and yet they just keep having them. It's giving me that, but obviously in like a more adult situation. Like somebody is literally just surrounded by people that don't give a shit about them. They probably use them for whatever they can get out of them. There could be abuse, you know, if not physical, it could be mental, emotional, verbal. This is a masculine that could have suffered physical, sexual abuse as a kid, something like that. It could also just be that this person was put into situations that they shouldn't have to deal with. Growing up too early, that kind of thing. Parenting your parent, dealing with a parent that, might not be all the way there. Um, a parent that has their own issues, right? Like I just said, parents that really weren't meant to be parents. And I don't want to, I've said stuff like that before. I hope I'm not offending anybody. Obviously, when people have mental health issues, they have mental health issues. There's nothing they can do about that. I have had that in my own life. So I completely understand. And I don't hold it against the people for having mental health issues. But as I've said before, what I do hold against them is the fact that they don't get help. It's one thing to get help and then fall off your meds and try and get back on, and you know stuff like that happens all the time. But when you know somebody and they know and that they have mental health issues, and it causes them to have problems in their life, maybe causes you to have problems in yours, and they literally spend a lifetime not getting help, I have no sympathy or empathy for that person. I just don't. And again, I myself have had that in my life. And as I've openly told you guys, I'm pretty sure I have mental health issues. I mean, I know I've gone through depression. I come from somebody that is bipolar. So could I have that? Of course I could. I probably do. I tell people I'm crazy all the time. Do I exhibit craziness all the time? No. But I tell people because I feel like it's in my genes. It's in there. It's somewhere in there. I'm never going to lie about that. And I don't think there's anything to lie about. I am of the personal belief, just like how I feel everybody has intuitiveness, everybody has psychic ability, everybody has mental illness, everybody has a form of depression. There is not one human on this planet that you could convince me that would be untouched by any of that. Look at the environment we live in. Look at the United States. Look at all the other countries. You're telling me that you're not affected by any of that? You're telling me that no one in your family has given you through genes, mental illness or depression? I just find that absolutely hard to believe. And I feel like in this day and age, it is April 25th, 2026. There is no reason to hide that. Why would you hide that? And why would you feel like you have to? Why would you feel ashamed? I don't feel ashamed. I don't feel ashamed at all. Everything that I deal with internally, I deal with on a daily basis. When I say that I believe we're healing from birth to death, why do you think I feel like we're healing from birth to death? If I have mental illness, I'm healing from that every freaking day. Every freaking day. Like, think about it. Whoever this is, like they live under like a cover of darkness. Like they live like in a storm. Like they literally are surrounded by snakes. And that's not to say that every single person that they know is horrible, but this would be like, a masculine whose sister is a snake. Maybe their dad is a snake, and maybe their great aunt, is a snake, and maybe one of their three best friends is a snake. That's being surrounded by snakes. It may not be all of them, but it's enough to where they influence this person's life. And when they bring this influence, it's always negative. It's always, well, why are you doing that? You don't need to do that. You don't need to go there. What do you need to take classes for? You want to be a doctor? You're never going to make it. Like that kind of energy. That kind of energy surrounds this person, beats them down. I just heard. This person is looking for something. Like when I look at this book, and this, it looks like It looks like a yellow tulip, but I guess it could be a rose too, closed up. Like they're looking for something, they're studying something, they're researching something. It could be more like they're going within and they're studying themselves, they're researching themselves and trying to figure out how to hold boundaries against these things. And when I said it was making me cry, I think it makes this person cry. I think this person, this masculine, is crying because if you have ever dealt with mental illness in your family, your friends, and you have felt like you had to get away and you had no choice, and you literally had to extricate yourself out of a family, out of a friend group, and literally had to run away, into the dark with the shirt on your back, like you would know what I'm saying. Like it is not a great feeling knowing that you have to like abandon your family to save yourself. There not only is there this terrifying feeling of never having support again, but there's also this feeling of guilt. This feeling like you're going to leave and you're going to save yourself, but what is going to happen to the people that are left there? And you know what's funny is I was just thinking about this morning. I literally was just thinking about this morning. And I can't it wasn't necessarily my life, but I have had this feeling. I have had that feeling before. Um it was something else. I was thinking of something else and now I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was a movie or a TV show, but God, what was it? Well, okay, this wasn't exactly okay. Yeah, this wasn't exactly what I was thinking about, but it is a good reference. There was an episode of Law and Order SVU, and it was um a brother and sister. They were both abused. I want to say sex trafficked. They were both abused, and actually, I don't think they were brother and sister. I think they were both sex trafficked together, and they thought of each other as brother and sister, like they thought of each other as family because they were all they had. I think that's what it was. But um the sister got first out of the situation and was able to like get their act together and went off to college and stuff. And the brother was kind of left behind, and he ended up developing a relationship like that one with another girl. He ended up getting out of the situation, but he ended up living on the streets and becoming like a male prostitute, trying to survive that way. And he left the other girl, the second girl, behind when he tried to get out and couldn't go back to get her out. And I want to say she ended up not making it. Like she ended up, unaliving herself, or she was red rummed or something like that. She was stuck there and she didn't get out. And when I say girl, like I mean I don't think she was more than like I don't think I think she was younger, but I don't think she was more than like 14 or 15. And again, probably younger than that. Um and it was just a story about, they made contact with the girl in college and found out she had been connected to the guy, and then they found the guy on the streets and he knew the girl. And so it was all about like background story and everything like that. But, you know, the girl that got out and went to college, she didn't really have too much remorse. Like she recognized like I had to get out. I had to save myself. The funny thing was the masculine, the man and the young man in the middle who got out and became a sex worker, male prostitute. He had so much fucking guilt for leaving that other girl behind. Like so much guilt. whoever this masculine is, they're emotional because like they know that they at the very least have to set up boundaries, which is going to piss people off. And at the very most, like they know that they have to get away from these people, get out of this situation, and possibly leave people behind to fend for themselves. And again, I've been in that situation. I not not so much as a child because I just dealt with it as a child and lived through it. But as an adult, I had to get out of a situation and I had to leave people behind that I loved. And the guilt is crazy insane. The guilt is crazy insane. Even though they're adults and I left them behind in an abusive situation, um, I still felt guilt. I still felt guilt from walking away and saving myself and getting myself out of that situation. Because if I hadn't, I probably would have broke down mentally. I probably would have. And I will tell you that I'm referencing a family situation, like my real family, but like a year before that, I went through that with the ex-best friend. If you guys remember, if you guys follow, if you subscribe, you know my story with the ex-best friend. I went through that same situation like a year before, year and a half before, something like that. 2 years in a row, like I had to abandon 2 relationships and just start over and go on without them. And literally, especially with the ex-best friend, incommunicado, like don't want to have anything to do with you, not talking to you, not calling you, not reaching out. And the funny thing is now on my healing journey, right, when I look back on those 2 different situations, and I've talked to you guys about this, about the ex-best friend, but also same goes for my family member. I love them. I love them. And I want better for them, and I want them to be better, and I want them to feel better, and I want them to get help. But they're going to have to do that away from me. I can't go back there. I refuse to go back there. For the family member and for the ex-best friend, absolutely not. Even if you had a doctor call me and say, "Yeah, they're on medication, they got help. They were committed for, 3 months or, like it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. I would never go back to those situations. I would wish them nothing but the best. I love them, you know. Will always love them, but I would never go back. Not happening. And again, I was crying because I could feel this masculine that upset. And I'm also was crying because I completely fucking understand. Completely understand. And like I said, they're looking for a way out, and I hope they find it. I hope they figure it out. Cuz I think whatever holds them there, whatever keeps them there is something that they've outgrown, and they know this. Whatever it is, whoever it is, they don't do them any good. And like I said, I'm of the personal belief that once you wake up and once you realize what is happening around you, and once you realize how it's affecting you, you have no choice but to save yourself and get the hell out of there. And it's horrible to have to make that decision. You lose friends, you lose family, mentally and emotionally. Like I just people humans don't have a choice. Like I would never tell another human being, "Oh no, you should stay there." Like that's your parent, that's your grandparent, that's your brother. Like no. No. I'm going to leave it there. I hope it doesn't resonate, but I'm sure it will resonate for somebody. I hope you guys were entertained. I hope you were enlightened in some type of way. I hope everybody has a fabulous Saturday, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.